Good morning, everybody.
So today is going to be a little bit different. We are technically on our way to the airport today. It's a little bit outside of Bangkok, so we wanted to switch hotels because it's an early morning flight tomorrow, so the less driving we have, the better. But since that's not super interesting, we thought we would use our last day here in Thailand to ask each other some questions about our overall trip in Southeast Asia.
So we hope you enjoy, and if you have any other questions that we can answer, feel free to leave them in the comments below. So this is typically what our day starts like. I typically find a coffee shop somewhere close, and if not, we resort to 7-Eleven because it's pretty good budget coffee. And then Robin typically starts the day by getting a little bit of work done. She'll organize some files or get some editing done or start uploading videos. Just kind of works out. I like going for a little walk in the morning, sort of gets you ready for the day. So anyways, I'm stopping at a 7-Eleven just down the road from us to get some coffee today.
Cheers. Thanks for getting coffee.
So with that, we are going to jump into our first question. So Robin, where has been your favorite places, top 3 favorite places of the whole trip?
Top 3 favorite places.
So Singapore, Bali, or Indonesia, Vietnam, and Thailand. Go.
That's hard. I would say my top 3 places have been Hoi An in Vietnam, Tam Coc in Vietnam. Like the landscape there was just absolutely breathtaking. That was the first time we saw the limestone mountains. It was so beautiful. And probably Chiang Mai. Like our time in Chiang Mai absolutely flew by. There was just so much to do. Every day was so fun.
Honestly, my 3 are very similar. I would probably say Hoi An and Chiang Mai as well, but I would also throw Ubud in there. Because we both really liked Ubud.
Okay, that's all for now. We'll keep answering questions as we kind of go throughout our day, but I'm not sure if you can see behind us. Our place is a little bit of a disaster right now, and we have another whole duffel bag to consider while we pack today, so that's what we're gonna go do.
So much stuff.
Okay, I think this is probably gonna be our hardest pack of the whole trip because
so much stuff.
We have so many things, and before you say, oh, we bought so many things for ourselves, no. It's cheaper to buy Christmas presents here than back at home, so that's what we did. But that just means we have a combination of like extra clothing, but also things that are like quite breakable. We have tentatively packed the duffel so far, and I think we have gotten everything we wanted in there. It is quite heavy.
It is very heavy.
So I'm hoping that these bags are going to be quite light, but we will see. But we thought while we packed, we would say our next question. So Graham, since we have just said our top 3 destinations, what is your favorite overall country that we've been to?
Ooh. I think it surprised me a lot, but I absolutely loved it. And I think we're probably going to say the same country.
Yeah.
You want to say it on count 3?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Vietnam.
Yeah, absolutely. Vietnam was by far my favorite, and obviously Robin's favorite. I think it was just a combination of like, the people were amazing.
Yes.
The food was absolutely amazing, like bun cha, bun bo nambo, pho,
banh mi.
Like there's just so many options.
Yes.
That it was just like you could never got tired of the Vietnamese food and the landscapes. Like it was such a vast difference from Ho Chi Minh all the way to Halong Bay. It was awesome.
I think Graham and I, before this trip, kind of had expectations of what we thought Bali was going to be like and what we thought Thailand was going to be like, because those are the 2 countries that, you know, we've known people who have gone there. They're always talked about. They're all over our social media. And so I think we had certain expectations, but for Vietnam, we knew very little. Yeah. And we didn't really know what to expect. So it really surprised us in the best way possible. I have a hard time believing that this is going to be our last time in Vietnam. That is a country I would definitely go back to and like maybe explore more of like the next time.
Yeah. Okay, well, talking and packing isn't really working. I think I've packed 2 items this whole time. So we are gonna focus on some packing now.
Wow, this is the tiniest rucksack considering all trip. This is gonna be nothing carrying it through the airport. That's so lovely.
Okay, so we know it's not the most cost effective, but Robert and I have decided to take a Grab to our next place. Honestly, maneuvering with all of our stuff with like 3 big backpacks and 2 littler backpacks on the metro, that's typically quite full.
And we'd have to do a couple transfers.
Yeah, just like isn't really the most like enjoyable travel ever. So we've decided to take a Grab. Again, a little bit more expensive, but I think it'll be definitely worth it. Anyways, while we wait for our Grab, we want to answer our next question. So, Robin, what is one thing that surprised you about Southeast Asia?
I think for me, the thing that surprised me most was how much more these countries were than just the party scene, the nightlife scene, which isn't necessarily what Graham and I are after. And I was just surprised by how easy it was to like kind of remove ourselves from that area and travel like how we like, where we immerse ourselves in the culture, we're meeting locals. It was a really great time.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I think surprised me the most was the language barriers. It was so much less of a problem than I anticipated. I think we really only used Google Translate for like one full conversation only once in Halong Bay, and that was like very surprising to me. There was very good English here. I
kind of expected there to be like many English speakers or like rough English speakers in like Bali and Thailand just because it is more touristy. But seriously, Vietnam had some of like the best English speakers. It was crazy.
Yeah, we like so rarely had a problem with the language barrier. It was very, very surprising to me.
Yeah, so these countries are definitely easy to travel. At least we have found them easy to travel as like beginner travelers. Somewhere where you want something that's very different than what you experience back at home, but still like easy to maneuver.
Yeah, easy to maneuver and relatively safe too. Like we haven't really felt in danger as well, so.
No, it's been wonderful.
It has. Okay, our Grab's almost here.
You may have noticed that this hotel is quite a bit fancier than Graham and I usually spend, but it's our last night, so we wanted to splurge and we wanted a pool and we wanted to be right by the airport because our flight is at, I think, 8 tomorrow. So knowing Graham and I will probably want to be there for like 5 a.m. and it's a long drive from the city center. So anyways, this is the hotel that we've chosen. They're pretty strict with their check-in. It's at 2 p.m. and it is currently 1 p.m. right now, so I'm just hanging out in the lobby while I upload a video. Graham has gone to 7-Eleven to get us some toasties for lunch, because we have to. It's our last day. I want another toasty. And if you're curious, this hotel is costing $60 Canadian, or like 57 Canadian a night, and we typically spend around $20 or maybe just over Canadian a night. Whatever, I am just excited to check in and get to that pool that's behind me. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Feels good to be checked in.
Yeah.
But before we head down to the pool, we thought we would answer another question. So this one I have for you, Graham.
Okay.
What is one aspect of Southeast Asia that you're gonna miss the most?
Ooh. I think I'm gonna miss probably the ease of finding good food. Like I'm gonna miss like going to this eating food on like the side of the street and like finding a restaurant that has no English menu and like things like that. I think I'm gonna miss that part of our trip the most.
Food is more of like, at least I have found it's more of an experience here. Especially we found it in Vietnam where there's like specific ways you have to eat the food.
Yeah.
You don't just get like one plate full of everything. It's like, here's your like
your
main
noodles.
thing, but then here's a whole bunch of leaves that all taste different that you can add for seasoning, and like here's some like noodles that are separate that you have to put into the broth but not too much. It's more of an experience here than it is at home, and I just find it's really fun. It's like a little part of our adventure too.
Yeah, it's something new and I'm gonna miss that. So
I think for me, I'm just going to in general miss the people that we have, or the locals, I should more specifically say, that we've met in all of our countries that we've traveled to here in Southeast Asia have been so kind and so friendly and so like welcoming. Yeah. It's just been a really nice, not like surprise, like I have heard that people are really nice, but it's just, I just have found the people that we have met just so friendly, and they want to help us, and they're excited that we're exploring their country, so
they're happy to have us, which feels good. Anyways, so that is it for that question. Yep. It's time to go jump in the pool because it's very hot here still.
Okay, so we are actually back in our hotel room. We were going to answer a question by the pool, but there were so many people there that we felt way too awkward.
Yeah, no, it was not the right place to chat about our trip. So
we're gonna answer another question quickly before we head down to supper.
What is one activity that you wish we did on our trip?
That's a hard question. I'm pretty happy with most of the things that we did. Okay, if we had more time, I think an activity that I would have really liked to do is actually do the motorcycle route.
Dang.
Is that yours too?
Yeah.
The Ha Giang Loop in northern Vietnam.
Yeah.
I think that was something that if our visa wasn't running out, we probably would have stayed longer in Vietnam and kind of done that northern loop, or done like a hike in Sapa.
Dang, okay, that's a good answer. That was mine when I asked the question. I was like, oh, this is gonna be mine. It's gonna be an awesome answer. Anyways, I have a backup one. I wish that we would have done a coffee tour somewhere in Vietnam. Not necessarily the north, not necessarily the south.
Just somewhere.
Just somewhere.
That's something, actually, that's very true. I kind of forgot about that.
I thought that was going to be your answer.
Okay, I changed my answer. I think I would want to do a coffee tour before the Ha Giang Loop.
Okay, then I changed mine to the Ha Giang Loop.
Just because I think I had mentioned it, and we had brought it up to each other at least 5 times when we were in Vietnam.
Times.
Because like the
Vietnamese
coffee was unbelievable.
Next
oh my
level
gosh, coconut coffee,
salty coffee,
regular traditional coffee, egg coffee.
Yeah. Anyways, we have hardly eaten today. All we've had is a cheese toastie and a Coke each. So
and 2 muffins from also 7-Eleven in the morning.
So we are gonna go get some supper.
I got green curry as the soup. I feel like that's the classic way, I'm pretty sure. And then you get steamed rice on the side. And Graham got green curry as like a fried rice. Since we're at supper, it's only fitting that I think the next question is, what were our top 3 dishes of Southeast Asia? So out of all of the countries that we've been to, all of the wonderful cuisines that we've eaten at, what are your top 3?
So my top 3, in 3rd place, I am going to go with, probably red curry here in Thailand. My 2nd favorite, I'm gonna go with bun cha, which is from Vietnam, and it's the one where you just get like a bowl of broth with some meat in it, and then your bowl of like greens and your plate of noodles, and you have to like kind of add everything as you want. So I think that one was good just because it's like a full experience, as well as delicious, obviously. And my number 1 favorite dish was bun bo nambo that we had in Hanoi. I literally, my mouth's watering just thinking about it. It was just so amazing. I miss it already. I miss it so much. Robin, what are your top 3?
It's so hard to choose. We had so many good dishes.
So true.
Graham and I love to eat and we love trying new foods, so I just feel like we found so many amazing things that we've like never tried before. But I think for me, in third place is just a classic bowl of pho from Vietnam. Like, you can't go wrong. Like, we ate it on the street, we ate it at fancier restaurants. We literally had, it was so easily accessible and it was so hard to do wrong. Like, it was just like we never really had a bad bowl of pho. So it was great, honestly. My second place, I think, is also bun cha. That was just like,
It's so
it was
good.
so, there was so many flavors. Heavenly. If I would literally fly back. We talk about this. We were like, if we had a layover going home that was somewhere in Vietnam, we would make it long enough so that we could leave the airport and eat some food and then go back. It was just great. But I think for me, my number one dish is a curry, but I just don't know what curry. I think my favorite is a toss-up between green curry and yellow curry. I love the flavor of green curry so much, and it tends to be a little bit spicier, which is really nice sometimes. But yellow curry has like more to it. Like there's like bigger chunks of carrots and there's potatoes, so it's got like more going on, and it's creamy and it's just super savory. So I would say those two curries are tied for my first place because it really depends what mood I'm in. That was delicious. 10 out of 10. Super happy that was our last meal.
Okay, so now that we're finished supper, Robin and I are gonna head to 7-Eleven to get our last go on our last snack run of our trip. Kind of sad.
Honestly, 7-Eleven's been a lifesaver.
Seriously.
We went from Vietnam, where it was impossible to get snacks,
anywhere,
to there being a 7-Eleven like within a 2-block radius of you at all times.
All times. So on our way there, we're gonna answer another question. So Robin,
Yes.
what was your favorite activity from each country? So top 3 activities, 1 from each country.
Well, in Singapore, my favorite activity was probably the day that we were walking around the gardens. The gardens were like breathtakingly beautiful.
I'm just gonna say that's my favorite for Singapore too.
But yeah, it was crazy because you're in the heart of like a huge city, literally a city that is a whole country.
Yeah.
And it's just so peaceful. So that was my favorite activity that we did in Singapore. In Indonesia, it had to be hiking Mount Batur. I was so proud of us for doing that.
Yeah.
It was like super early in the morning, super dark, but like our guide tree was
Incredible. She was the best.
Like, I still chat with her sometimes, so that was just really special. So that was my favorite.
Vietnam?
Vietnam. Oh gosh, we did so many fun things in Vietnam.
Did a lot of fun things in Vietnam.
I think for me, our little like rowboat experience in Tam Coc.
Ooh, good
Not
one.
the one where we went to like a national park and we were with 2 other people.
No. And in Thailand?
In Thailand, I think my favorite thing was the jungle trek.
Yes.
That
good
was
pick.
so cool,
pick.
and I feel like that was the most authentic experience that we've had in Thailand, like for our whole trip. Like,
Definitely.
I feel like Thailand is pretty touristy. There's a lot of tourists. It's very well traveled, but the jungle trek, we stayed with locals. It was such a cool experience. That was my favorite.
Okay, my favorite thing in Indonesia, I'm gonna say snorkeling. I just
Yeah.
think it was such a cool experience. I don't know, and something that Robin and I don't really ever do. In Vietnam, I'm gonna say Halong Bay cruise. I think that just like
Yeah.
is a bucket list item that I was like really, really excited for.
And it was your birthday.
And it was my birthday.
Yeah.
And in Thailand, I'm going with the elephant sanctuary.
Yeah, that was fun.
Similar to Vietnam. That's just like an absolute bucket list item. If you're coming to Thailand, you gotta do an elephant sanctuary.
Plus our grandma elephant was so cute.
So true. Anyways, those are my top 3. But now we're at 7-Eleven, so we're gonna get some snacks.
Okay, this is to end off this video. I think what I'm gonna miss the most about this trip is that every single day of this trip pretty much was a different adventure, and that was really special.
But that kind of wraps up our time here in Thailand and also here in Southeast Asia. We hope you guys enjoyed this video as well as our entire Southeast Asia series. I know we really enjoyed being in this part of the world and definitely are excited to come back at some point in our lives.
For sure.
So I think this is where we're going to end this series. We hope you enjoyed it.
And we will see you on our travel day back to Canada. Bye-bye! Oh, I don't know though. I can't. I'm not ready to answer.
Wait, really?
I'm lost. That's not our room. 2 floors. Is it?
Are you serious?